The year 2011 is one of great social and economic uncertainty in the United States, with high unemployment, fears of a double-dip recession, as well as a softening housing market. Many high schools in the United States resorted to pay-to-play schemes in order to bolster their athletic budgets. But in the midst of all this economic uncertainty, within a 9-mile radius of this U.S. Capitol dome, not one, but 4 field hockey teams started play in the fall of 2011. There's always been a thriving field hockey culture amongst the schools that play inside of the Washington Beltway, even before the expansion of 2011. There are 5 schools that play field hockey in the state of Maryland that are also inside the Beltway. There are an even dozen in Virginia, both public and private schools. There are also 4 in the District of Columbia, all private schools. There used to be more. There were enough for a DCIAA league, but all that changed in early April of 1968. The assassination of Martin Luther King set off days of rioting that changed the makeup of neighborhoods, and with that, the population of schools within the District of Columbia. Several days of rioting devastated the city. It left a lot of the buildings around here in ruins, to the point where a lot of the buildings did not receive a coat of paint for more than 40 years. It also ended the DCIAA's participation in the game of field hockey. That is, until 2011, when an idea took root about 3 or 4 miles just west of here. The idea was to add field hockey in order to address Title IX imbalances over the years. 2 DC public schools started field hockey in 2011. Wilson, here in the white with the green trim, and the School Without Walls in the black. The 2 coaches, Jamie Josephson of Wilson and Brittany Caton of Walls, have seized upon the game as a teaching opportunity. Josephson, for her part, uses social media for teaching as well as coaching.
I would say that making it really explicit, what is expected, what I will give you, what I can't give you, and what you have to find within yourself, and also taking their feedback. Part of the point of the blog is for parents and kids to tell me that you don't really do that, or I need you to do this. And one thing the girls said after our last game was, you give us this great pep talk the last 10 minutes and they never score on us, then we need that from you at the beginning of the game. So they got that, and being a lot more positive rather than focusing on what they need to fix, just focusing on what is awesome at the beginning. That feedback, taking that feedback and learning how to coach is definitely ties into the educational philosophy.
Well, basically, Walls is just everything that they do, it very much academically is, you know, gung-ho. They put their hearts and souls into it, and you can see that with this. And it's just an amazing thing to give the girls another sport to play. So, I mean, it just adds to being a well-rounded school, I think. You know, they're very high academically, they're, you know, starting with sports, and I think that field hockey is a great sport for girls to play and round out the school.
When the 2 teams got together for the second time in October of 2011, they played a very competitive match that was only decided by a late first-half goal, plus a lot of defense on the part of Wilson.
I think our defense was just super energized. Like, we had scored in the first half and we were really wanted to make the win, so the whole objective of the second half was just to keep it out of the circle as much as possible, and I think the defense did a great job of that. And I feel like they did, like, I could rely on them more in this game than any other game this season. It just improved so much.
I mean, we're pretty excited. Like, after a game when we don't lose, we are excited to play the next game.
So the second part of this field hockey phenomenon that takes place over the river in Virginia, where a pair of Washington Catholic Athletic Conference teams have taken up the sport. One of them is Bishop O'Connell High School of Arlington, Virginia. The other one is right over my shoulder, Bishop Ireton in Alexandria. Both O'Connell and Ireton have long traditions in interscholastic athletics and take them very seriously. They have started traditions, such as Ireton's Senior Day ceremony, seen here, in the hopes that they will carry on long into the future. These traditions are not lost on 2 of the Cardinals' graduating players in their inaugural 2011 season.
I think it's definitely helped, but at the same time, we're playing schools that everyone has played, so it's just me trying to show by example, and so I'm trying to just show everyone how you play, the pace of the game, and I'm just hoping everyone picks up on that.
Since only a few of us have ever played, it was my first time picking up a stick during tryouts. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of hard work involved, and I was really sore for a long time, like incorporating all the new muscles that had to be used for field hockey. But it's all been really worth it and super fun.
What's also going to ramp up the skill level and expectation of both teams is the availability of artificial turf. Ireton, which borrowed its football field in 2011, will have its own facility in 2012. O'Connell's new turf facility is expected to be ready for its second season in the fall of 2012.
Yes, but every school, everybody's gravitating towards turf now, so having turf, being able to play on turf is an advantage, but you have to coach differently on both surfaces. Coming from my background of coaching at West Potomac, we only had grass. So when we played against teams on turf, we were certainly at a disadvantage. With a brand new program and teaching the kids the skills, we started out on turf practicing, then we go to grass because I think it makes them stronger, physically stronger, pushing things to the grass, and it comes together when we play on turf. So we're lucky to have both, but we haven't really found a home yet as far as...
It makes it so much easier because the ball is just a faster game. It's easier to hit it and stuff. But most of the games that we've played have all been on grass, so it's been hard to kind of adjust to that. But I think we're doing a good job.
I think it'll be great as far as bringing up the skills for the consistency, because also the weather this year was a problem as far as having the field close repeatedly, so that we couldn't practice. But I think that they did remarkably well given the environmental conditions that we were working under, and that's one of the things that a number of the coaches that we played, the teams that we played against, and the officials said that they just saw such a huge improvement from the first game that we played against them towards to the end of the season. And that really says a lot about the girls based on the conditions that they were playing under, just their ability to work as a team and their basic athletic skills.
The brand of field hockey the four teams played in 2011 was not the most artful. The only wins the four teams had were when they met each other. However, the four teams have already laid out plans on how to improve, including going to off-season camps, playing in indoor leagues, as well as thoughts of a future site in Washington, D.C., something which would have been unthinkable 20 years ago.
I think that's already beginning. I think I think that's where a lot of Virginia Beach schools have started. They've started really young, 5th and 6th grade, really starting to build their kids' programs in this early middle school years, and I think that Alexandria is heading that way. They've just started the Alexandria Rec program, which is the field hockey, runs those field hockey, younger girls field hockey games, and I think that that's a beginning. There needs to be like 5 of those leagues to really for Northern Virginia to start to have a base for field hockey.
I am going to try and get them to do some of those camps. Definitely for next summer, we're going to try and do a winter league, but actually our end of the season party get-together thing is going to be going to either AU or Maryland game, just so that they can see what field hockey looks like, and it'll be just a really good end to the season. So yes, I'm going to definitely get them involved in field hockey off-season.
I do some camps and stuff, winter and spring, and really do some team building this spring, try to recruit new people, let incoming freshmen know we have a team, and just get ready for next year, basically.
There could be a lot more expansion in 2012. There are rumors of more D.C. public schools coming online with field hockey, which begs the question, what's going on?
So I think that Washington, D.C. itself is in a bubble. We're in this bubble where our jobless rate is 6% instead of the national average, which is about 9.2 right now. And so I believe that because we're in this area that has a highly dense lots of jobs here, highly dense jobs, that we're not facing that, so we don't see that as you would in the lower central Virginias, western Virginias, or other states. So I think that's where a lot of that comes from. That there's more money, there's a lot more going on in this area because of the influx of money to Washington, D.C.
So while it's not known whether these 4 new teams are going to make Washington, D.C. a field hockey hotbed anytime soon, after 40 years in the wilderness, it's a start. For topofthecircle.com, this is Al Matei in Washington, D.C.